Yo guys, it's Slyroh. You already know that today we're back with another Take 5, because I say we, that means me and RTK.
No, we is only you, Slyroh.
Oh, well, alright, then
Yeah.
I don't know what spot you take up. But yeah, RTK's here. We're gonna talk about 2022 anime. This is our little Take 5 series where we just get together and take 5 topics and sort of talk about them. So,
Yeah.
do you wanna sort of set up a little bit as to what this is?
Okay, so 2022 has been great with anime. This list is about basically hidden gems or anime that we thought were underrated and didn't get enough of the spotlight because they were overshadowed by stuff like Bleach or Chainsaw Man or, all the other good anime that came out this year. So anything that we really considered a must-watch is not going to be on this list. So you can take out any continuations of series. So no Kaguya-sama Season 3, no Kingdom Season 4, no continuations of series,
Yeah,
and no
Demon
no
Slayer, My Hero
must-watch.
Academia.
Yeah, get rid of
all that sort of stuff.
yeah. These are anime that came out specifically this year that we thought were amazing and we watched.
Yeah, and
And
there's no sort of metric that we use to be like, oh, this is underrated or this is like, not as talked about. Because I would actually make an argument that I've heard people talk about at least one of my shows, maybe even two of them, but I don't think that they have like the same level of like widespread recognition as like the big series, the Spy Families, all that
the
sort of
big
stuff.
shonens that get all the attention everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, so as we start getting closer to the Crunchyroll Anime Award season, we're just going to offer up some series that maybe you should check out before it comes around. That way, if one of these is nominated, you can be like, hey, I watched that. And if not, then you can be one of those hipsters that are mad that a really good show got snubbed. Yeah, I don't...
All right.
Is there anything else that we want to... I don't think so. We ready to
Alright.
start?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Do you want me to start? Or do you want?
You start.
Okay, I am going to start because my number 5 is actually where I put something that we've talked about before. This is the one exception that I've made for a continuation of a previous series because it's Shadow's House Season 2.
I kept that off my list.
Ah, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I considered it. I think if there was a fifth one that I had really, really strong feelings for, I could have replaced it as well. Mostly because we have talked about it before. But Shadow's House Season 1 wasn't watched by a ton of people, and I also think that it was fine, but not great. But Season 2 was really, really good. It really sort of narrowed down the focus as to what they're doing, the stories, the characters, the world building. It just really hits on another level that, even as someone that didn't super enjoy the first season all that much, I still think Season 2 is one of the better anime to come out this year. And you should not sleep on the series. I don't know if it's going to continue or not, but I really hope it does, because now I'm invested.
Okay. So, my number 5. And I don't think it's the greatest anime ever, but I enjoyed the crap out of watching it. I heard a lot of people complain about its animation, and I agree that its animation is really stiff and kind of not good to look at. But it's trapped in a dating sim, the world of Otome games and stuff for mobs.
What? Wow. All right, I went into this being like, I have no idea what's going to be on RTK's list, and now I really have no idea. You can literally pull out anything. Wow.
I watched this thinking it was just going to be some garbage of the season. Because pretty much every season I say I'm going to give one episode of each anime that's easily available to watch a try, And I just found myself like weirdly enamored with this. The main character is like a really cocky jerk, right? He gets isekai'd into a dating game that he's forced to play by his sister. And after playing that game for like 3 days straight to get everything maxed out for her, he ends up falling down the stairs and dying and getting stuck in that game. But he just has this really great way of putting all the antagonists, in quotation marks, in their place in the most like satisfying, jerkish way. It just feels great. And yeah, the animation is bad. I get it. Maybe another studio can pick it up if it ever gets a season 2, because it is a light novel and it didn't cover like, it only covered like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 out of the couple volumes that I was reading. But like it had me, dude. It had me.
All right, I honestly had not really even heard about this series, so
I'm not surprised. A lot of people said it was not very good because of the animation.
wow. All right then. That is that's something. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. So like,
Yeah,
I thought
no.
it was, you know.
Okay. Are we gonna remember to snake it this time? So do you want to?
I don't know. Did we remember to snake it last time?
I don't know. I don't remember what we did last time. It's up to you. Do you want to snake it and do number 4, or do you want to go back and forth?
Let's just go back and forth. That's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, my number 4 then is very much a hidden gem because I didn't even give it any attention. I saw a YouTuber talking about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check it out. This year, I've gone, broadened my horizons a little bit, and I feel like I've watched more shows that are just more chill vibes. It's not like action, not conflict, not drama. It's just people, more slice of life, but a little bit of magical in here. My number 4 that I encourage people to try watching is a show called Healer Girl. It is a show that is centered around these 3 girls. I had to think. I was like, is there 3 or 4 of them? 3 girls. They sort of live in a world where they're trying to become healers, which is a profession that is kind of like they assist like doctors and stuff in medical stuff by using their like singing voice. And that's all it really is. It just follows these 3 girls around as they're like assisting at like a clinic, and they start learning how to like use their voice to heal people and all that sort of stuff. And I just really like the characters. Also, the unique thing about it is it's a bit of a musical as well. In some of the episodes, they'll just sort of start breaking out into song in the same way that a musical would, like a show or like a Disney movie or something. Which is interesting because you don't really see that very often, and it just has this really like lightheartedness to it. But I don't know, I really like the characters. I really was just enjoying them do their healing stuff, and the visuals that they did, like the animation was really good for when they would sing. They would sort of animate like a whole visual world that sort of visually depicts like what they're trying to show, like the patients that they're treating and whatnot. And those visuals were like really cool. And it would like sort of suck you in, and I don't know, it was just a really wholesome show that I wasn't sure about it at first, but by the end I was like, man, I really like that. And the more that I think back on it, I'm just like, that was a really cool show. And yeah, it's probably not for everybody, probably just for a certain specific set of people, but I definitely encourage to try it out and see if it's your thing, because it's solid. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah.
Alrighty. Well, my number 4, and I think you've heard me talk about this, Slyroh.
Huh?
And it's another isekai.
Oh boy. Oh wait, okay.
Can you guess what it is? Do you want to guess?
Does it have to do with a family member from a world that he's not currently in, or was it? You know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at?
Oh yeah, an uncle.
Yeah, an uncle
from another world. Yes.
I was trying to find a different way to say another world, but I was like, actually, the more I talk in circles, the more it doesn't make sense.
Dude, I love this show. It's so like insanely funny, and like it just pokes fun at like all the isekai tropes that's going on. Like in this other world, he's just treated like garbage the entire time, and he shows his family, like his nephew, because no one else wants to take him in, like flashbacks, because he's got a spell that's able to show his memories and stuff, and they're just so sad most of the time. It's so within the first 10 minutes, man, he's called an orc, he's beaten, and then he's made a slave, pretty much. Dang. He's so ugly in this other world that everyone just is either afraid of him or mistakes him as a monster and tries to kill him, basically. So he just like he in this world, his power, because in every isekai you're given a different ability as you come in. Sometimes it's a giant cool sword, or sometimes it's power of friendship or whatever, or his ability is the power of language. So he can learn any language and communicate with pretty much anything. So while he's in jail, Slyro, you know what he does?
What does he do?
He communicates with a little speck of light that's coming in through a crack through the wall, right? And he's showing his nephew this, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that you were going practically crazy in there," and he's talking to it for days and days and days, and then eventually he's talking to a light spirit, Slyro,
Ooh.
and the light spirit gives him the power to get out of the cell and free himself. It does everything and subverts your expectations in the most like funny yet realistic, not out of nowhere way possible.
Nice.
And I just found it hilarious. It's great.
Yeah.
And the faces. It's wholesome. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I've heard good things. The animation looks unique, at least, which is usually good.
Yeah.
I didn't get around to seeing it, so you know.
I'm
sorry. There's so many other things to watch. There's so many other things.
All right. Let's hear your number
okay.
3.
It's okay. My number 3 is Tamagotchi Game.
Hey.
Yeah, did you watch that?
I did watch it. I actually didn't like it that much.
Okay. I really liked it. I'm a big fan of the sort of, you would classify it as like a battle royale death game, but this one doesn't have the threat of death, which means that the characters actually have a potential threat of, failure, or whatnot. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the perfect series, but I do think that it was exciting, and you couldn't always guess what was going to happen. They would go through some pretty crazy things, and they would like beat a game in like a way that you would be like, how in the world did they do that? And then they'd spend like the next episode, or like the half of the next episode, explaining like, oh, but actually he did this secretly, so that way this happened, and he manipulated this way. And the main character is like also interesting because he's not just like generic, like, doesn't want to hurt his friends or whatever. Like he's doing a lot of active like manipulation and stuff, and that makes you think that he might not be all good. So I think that was an interesting take. So it just kind of takes a genre that I generally like and does enough interesting twists with it that I think made it very interesting to watch from week to week. It was definitely one of those shows that I would finish one episode and be like, I have to watch the next one. So that was my experience with it.
All right. I don't know. For me personally, it just kind of felt too... I don't know, man. It didn't keep my interest during the games, and then after they were explaining how it happened, it just didn't always make 100% sense to me.
I suppose. I don't know. I feel like I followed it for the most part, but maybe there's a level of some things that I didn't think about critically. But I who knows? From what I could tell, it seemed like things checked out. But yeah, I mean, is what it is.
Right. You ready for my 3, Sly?
Sure. I have no idea. You could say any combinations of words, and I at this point I don't even know what you're going to bring up.
You know what? You don't think I'd bring up a shared anime that we both love?
Oh?
That came out this year that I think is a pretty big hidden gem.
Oh no, you're gonna have to narrow it down because nothing's immediately coming to mind.
Oh man, Slyro, how could you forget about your boy?
Oh, your boy?
Kongming.
Oh, let's go! I did not remember. Okay, I did not remember. If you watched / enjoyed that.
Dude, your boy Kongming was so good.
Yes, yeah. I actually, because mine would be next, I actually have that as my number 2.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, sing its praises.
I just love it so much, man. I didn't know anything about it going in, I thought, I read the synopsis, I think on Live Chart or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, it's some weird general man who's he's like a war general or something like that. Man, it's been so long. I wish I had rewatched
war
it.
general or war tactician of sorts. Something to do with ancient China or something?
Yeah, something like that. And he like either dies or is sealed or something and is brought to the future where he just kind of falls in love with a girl who sings music and wants to make in love with her.
Yeah, so he doesn't fall in love. He falls in love with music,
with the music. And he wants to make her popular, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's just such a good show. And I don't like explaining it when I like a show so much. But damn, man, people need to watch Your Boy Kong, man.
It is
don't.
It is fantastic, and slight spoilers for most of the year. I would have considered it my anime of the year.
Crazy!
Yeah,
what the heck?
it's that high up. To build off the premise that you said, I would go one step further, and they relate the sort of like tactics that he used back in ancient or like history times, and he would use a lot of those tactics in a modern sense to try and get things to go in a positive way. But I think you're also underselling just like the other characters. Like Eiko is probably one of my favorite main characters of this year, just because like you really root for her. It's such a simple premise of she was in a bad place and then she like started singing music and that really helped her, and then she's like she wants to help other people like by singing it. It's very simple, but she feels very human and down to earth. And that goes with like the other characters that are introduced as well. Everybody just feels real. They feel good. Like there's no bad characters, and I just think that like the emotions and whatnot, it all is really good. It's not gonna like it's not one of those that like everything hits so deep that it like makes you cry, but like you just really like every character that's on the screen. So I
agree. I mean,
fantastic. Yeah, I think that's everything that I would have to say. So that would bounce back to your number 2.
Okay, my number 2 is it's summertime rendering.
Okay.
I love summertime rendering. It gives me the same feeling that I felt when I was watching Steins Gate and the feeling I got when I watched ReZero. If you don't know the first episode, you really need to just watch it because it will catch you by surprise with how surprising it is. Oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah, it definitely comes out of nowhere. Yeah. If you don't know the premise, it's very surprising, because I also went in, I didn't know a single thing about what it was other than it's a mystery show or something. I don't know.
Think a murder mystery with Groundhog Day events, pretty much. And that's all I want to say about it, because it's so like it does the premise in such a way that like I just feel the same way that I do about ReZero, man, and I love ReZero so much. I can't talk about it too much. Yeah, because this is a show that you need to watch blind, otherwise you're gonna be spoiled, and you just have to watch it. It's great. Now, streaming wise, watching it is gonna be a pain in the ass. You're gonna have to go on some back routes because Disney Plus is garbage.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm kind of on the opposite spectrum. It's not that I don't.
You didn't like it?
It's not that I don't like it. I like it. I don't love it. Yeah, it is a combination. I would say it's basically just a combination of ReZero and Higurashi. And I think both of them are better. So I don't know. It's like it's hard. But
you gotta admit though, Sly, during some of the animation in that is
so
good with the fight scenes.
Yes.
And like
some of the cleanest animation of the year, for sure.
The like twists that you get to randomly that you're just not expecting out of nowhere. It's
I think it went a bit too crazy too fast. I also like maybe for me they also like really delve super into like the fantastical, like magical, or maybe magical is not the right word, but like supernatural
side,
like a lot a lot quicker, and so it sort of killed a little bit of mystery because it's like, all right, well, if
I mean,
anything's
by like
possible,
episode
then
14, you pretty much know
yeah,
everything that's going on, and they're just trying to figure out how to fix
yeah.
it.
So it's like I liked it, but I feel like some of the things that it could have that I really liked about it could have been done better. But it's still a good show, and I do think that most people are on your side. The people that watch it generally would fall on the very, very positive, and I'm still positive about it. Just not as positive.
Just for like a warning for people who do go in and watch it, it does get kind of gory and violent. So just a heads up.
Oh yeah.
I don't want you to be like, oh, this is wholesome anime. It's not.
Yeah. That's a
okay.
Good point. All right, we on to number 1.
Yeah. What is your number 1?
I think you know what my number 1 is.
Is it really what?
Yeah, I think you know what my number 1 is.
Is it the same as my number 1? What's your number 1? Tell me.
My number 1 is Awashi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, I love Awashi, and the further removed I'm from it, the more that I like miss being able to watch it and experience it for the first time. I don't know what it is that feels so special. I am already pretty partial to sports anime in general, but I think Ashito, the main character, might be my favorite main character from a sports anime, period. I can't think of one that I like more.
Better than Hinata?
Oh, easy.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, because, like, he has that sort of over-the-top, like, vibe, but he also isn't so out of control that, like, I don't know, he strikes a good balance for me, where, like, he still has more, like, down-to-earth human moments without, like, having to be, like, an over-the-top caricature of himself, but, like, he still is a little bit hyperactive, but in a more realistic sense. It's very hard to explain how the balance works with him and not with other characters of his archetype. But I just really, really like rooting for him. And I do think that they did a good job setting up, like, his character in the first couple episodes. Because, like, it is a slow start. Like, they don't really start playing soccer until, like, almost halfway through the season. At least consistently. Like, you get bits here and there, but, like, I don't think they play, like, a full game until, like, I don't know, episode 10. Like, I might be wrong about that, but...
Yeah, like, most of the soccer that you see is just in addition to, like, the plot points they're trying to get to.
Yeah, and I think they do a really good job just sort of setting up the plot points, the characters, you know, all that sort of stuff. Ashito's journey. And, yeah, it's just quite an emotional ride. There's that twist in the middle that I just wasn't really expecting. That, you know, Ashito needs to overcome something that he was not expecting to have to overcome, and it really, like, tests him. And I also think that the animation is done really well. I also want to throw a special shout out to the second opening. I love that so much. It is very, very good. And yeah, I don't know if you feel the same way. The only thing that I needed for me to make this like a 10 out of 10 is I needed at the very end for Ashito to call his mom. That's all I needed. And that actually might have made me cry if he did that, and it didn't happen, so it's okay. But everything else was so good. Once they started focusing on the actual, like, soccer matches, I feel like they did that really good. They set up a good you know, antagonist for that one game towards the end. And, yeah, I mean, I just think that this nails... If you're looking for, like, the sports anime formula, I honestly think Awashi does it almost perfectly. And I don't know how it continues. If it's still really good, I hope it continues, because I really want to see more. And we'll see. But I love this show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite done with it yet. I'm at episode 18.
Okay. All right, so yeah, I think the last batch of episodes all sort of are part of one little mini arc.
Yeah, so, I mean, I really liked it a lot. They definitely do a lot more of a better job at making you care about the characters than, for example, something like Blue Lock. I definitely am more emotionally invested in Awashi in a similar way that I would care for, like, someone like Sasuke, you know?
I don't know. Yeah, while you're just saying emotionally, I do need to bring up that this is the only show to make me cry actual literal tears of this entire year. I don't think.
Are you talking about like episode
like 4 or 3? Yeah, like when he actually like leaves.
When he leaves his hometown.
Yes,
yeah, dude,
yes. I actually was sitting there crying, and I'm just like, what in the world? No show does that for me. I do not cry at anime very often. This was one of the few times that it did.
It's crazy. All right, well, I want you to guess my number one because
gosh,
it's an anime that I think anyone who is musically inclined should watch.
Oh, okay.
And I think it is one of the best anime this year.
Okay, all right. I see you. I assume you're talking about Bochi?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I cannot stress to you how much I want to see Bochi succeed, Slyroh.
Okay.
I want her to be the superstar that she wants to be.
I feel bad.
If you don't know Bochi the Rock, it's about a very, I wouldn't say she's introverted. I would say she's got mental instability,
extreme social anxiety.
It's crippling, basically crippling. And the show takes that and rolls with it so hard with how ridiculous and stupid some of the way she acts in this. And not only that, Slyroh, I don't know if I tried looking at the manga of this, right? It's like a,
I've heard it. Yeah, I've heard it's
nothing
stylized in a different way.
It is in a series. I think it's called like a Yo no Nome or something like that, where it's 4 panels side by side, and it's very quick and to the point, pretty much. And the animators of this show took a crazy amount of like effort and love into how good this show adapts that source material. It is so crazy that they are able to make the story as fluid as it is. And not only that, when they show people playing instruments and matching chords and strumming,
yes, I was gonna bring that up.
How it's supposed to be.
I was gonna bring that up. It was literally like episode 1 or 2, or maybe it was even part of the opening. I'm partial to noticing drums, so I noticed that like the drums were actually being played like properly, like the right things were being played that the sounds were coming out of, and I was like, wait, they put effort into making sure that was accurate. I was like, they're actually putting effort into making sure that everything is like, right, which they didn't have to do.
You see so many crazy camera angles when you're like, you see like a camera's what it would look like if it's clipped onto a guitar's headstock and looking at the guitars playing the instrument. It's so crazy, the cinematography that they went into this anime with the effort. It's so good. And the music, each song that they play individually is good. Like, I don't know how many times I have to tell you that I've listened to that band. Like, I'm dying, Slyroh.
Yeah, it's good. And they play around with a lot of different visual styles for different effects and mostly comedy stuff. When Bochi goes into her things, and they really like playing around with the types of animation and stuff that they use. Just another example of them going above and beyond.
It's crazy.
No, I respect it. I think Bochi as a character leaves a little bit to be desired for me, just because sometimes she's so over the top that it's hard to,
relate.
Yeah, either relate.
Yeah,
because like for me, it almost like, I don't know. It's like I do relate, but at the same time, there's like certain times where it's like, all right, maybe this is a little much.
Trash can for the 3rd time.
Yeah, I was like, maybe this is a little much. But I do understand that she's relatable for a lot, so I don't want to say like, oh, this isn't realistic, because it clearly is. I've heard a lot of people sort of relate, so
I don't know, man. Seeing her go where she's like pathologically lying and babbling to get out of situations, to
that's fair,
stepping up and like really putting herself out there to set a tempo for a song because the other band members are like not in together with each other, is just like crazy. Because I think it's like episode 8 or something where they play one song and they're all pretty nervous, and it actually sounds like they're not in tempo with each other. They're dragging behind on some of them, and they finish that song, and people are like, oh, that was bad, whatever. And then Bocchi pulls out a solo and sets the tone for this song and what the tempo is gonna be, and it's just they get it together then, and it's like, dude, Bocchi needs to do that more.
Yeah, no, I am rooting for her. She's not like bad, but
I get it.
I think that's like that's one of the only things keeping it from like being. I would say that it was pretty close. It would probably be like number 6 or 7 for me, like if we were making this list a little longer. So it was in consideration. Like this isn't quite. This is a lot higher than what I would say about Summertime Render. This isn't like an opposite thing. It's just like, oh, it was close, but not quite for me.
I'm just saying, since last episode, the final episode hasn't aired yet as of recording right now. I have been biting at my nails to get to this last episode, Sly.
Yeah, I think I still need to watch episode 11. I think 10 was the last one that I watched.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean,
they said it couldn't be done. They said that we couldn't do one of these in under an hour plus.
But
look at how it goes.
Crazy, man.
Hey, we're just getting so good at this.
I doubt that.
All right. Do we have any final thoughts? 2022, good year. There's plenty of shows that we didn't mention that are also, worth watching.
Yeah, there was a lot of anime that came out this year that Akiba Maid War is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
I think, was it this year that Executioner Way of Life came out?
Yep.
Yeah, that one was really good. I had Awashi in my honorable mentions.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff that if you like a good story and a good show, but you're kind of like put off by certain tropes or certain genres like sports anime or music anime or whatever, just give it a try. I highly recommend that you're even slightly interested in an anime, give one or 2 episodes a try, and if you fall in love with it, then you do.
Yep. That all checks out. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. If anybody has any anime that they want to talk about in the comments, feel free to leave them there. Don't forget to like and subscribe on my side or RTK side. Go to the other side and at least subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we both upload plenty of content that is interesting to watch. And I think I've covered everything, and we'll be back for another Take 5 eventually, probably. And I think that's it. So yeah, unless you have anything else, this is farewell. Goodbye.
Goodbye.